Cardano's slow, methodical approach, whilst perceived by many outside of our ecosystem as a drawback, is in fact its most powerful weapon. Not only has this ensured arguably the most secure, decentralized and scalable technology being produced, but has attracted builders to our ecosystem of a very different kind. These builders share the same values of Cardano, taking the same careful approach and in utilizing this groundbreaking architecture, resulting in some of the most unique projects that have revolutionary world-changing potential being built that are now deep in the development stage. The build out of our ecosystem is going to creep up on many. The failure to look just below the surface to truly understand what is coming is going to take the entire industry by surprise. See, in many cases, the projects building here are unlike anything we've seen in all other blockchain ecosystems. Let the naysayers continue to believe we're a ghost chain with low TPS, TVL, and no users, while we focus on far greater obstacles we have ahead that will enable us to unlock and truly realize the mass adoption of this technology. Ironically, being slow and steady has in fact resulted in Cardano taking pole position from a technological standpoint and is years ahead of ethereum in this respect. With Vasil now behind us, we can look forward to this new era of performance, speed and scalability as Cardano turns on turbo mode. Lapping the competition has never been made so easy. Welcome back for today's installment of Cardano Insights, where we track the all-important developments at the very pulse of Cardano and its ecosystem. So let's get straight into it. Now, with Vasil confirmed and full capabilities being made available to development teams throughout the ecosystem, we're going to start seeing lots of dApps utilising the new enhancements as they launch their Plutus v2 scripts. This is going to massively improve the user experience when interacting with dApps from both a speed and cost of feed perspective. Well, yesterday we got this update from MusiSwap evidencing the real power of Vasil, and the results are outstanding. In this tweet they confirm, "We are close to launching our Plutus v2 scripts. Here are some amazing benchmarks showing the upgrade, combining our order book and liquidity pools. Under the current V1 conditions, their Plutus V1 transaction size is 14.73 kilobytes with a fee of 1.44 ADA. They confirm once Plutus v2 scripts go live, the transaction size reduces from 14.73 to 1.31 kilobytes with a significant fee reduction to 0.73 ADA, representing a 10x improvement in transaction size, so massive space saving consequences, and at half the cost in fees. They also attach this pre-production transaction as confirmation of the testing being carried out. Just like the Artano example we covered a few weeks back, and now with Musely also announcing these fantastic results, we are going to be seeing a lot more of this over the coming weeks and months as the power of Vasil is unleashed throughout the ecosystem. Very exciting times ahead for both Cardano developers and users alike. With results like this, maybe we should start referring to Plutus v2 as Plutus v2 Turbo. Whilst there is so much more to come in terms of what Vasil has truly enabled for the growth of our ecosystem, this represents a great example of how Cardano is innovating and evolving the EUTXO model off the back of this industry-defining upgrade. Now, the power of Vasil is going to have considerably positive impacts on Cardano's TPS. Check this out from EUTXO.org. We've covered Peter's work a few times now on Cardano Insights, and he's currently in the process of developing the version 2 of the site that will introduce some real nice features and statistics relating to block production. In this latest update, he confirmed EUTXO.org version 2 will show you not only how the block is filled, but also calculate traditional TPS. Here Peter kindly points out, so Cardano can do more than one TPS, which is a nice little subtle jab for ETH maxis who claim Cardano has never exceeded this. He confirmed based on his findings, there are block equivalents of 1500 TPS, and this is even without considering the Vasil enhancements. Interestingly, Peter explained, from time to time there are huge blocks with a lot of items and small in size, where if you fill the whole block, you can get between 500 and 1500 TPS equivalents of traditional TPS. Depends on content, so Cardano is decentralized and not slow. It will improve over time more and more. Here we can see EUTXO.org version 2 in action, and you'll note that the TPS in its traditional form will be displayed in this menu on the right hand side. He also kindly provided the TPS calculation, which will be present for each block so there can be no arguments, a beautiful visual representation of block production and TPS performance. So if you know any Cardano naysayers, upon the launch of EUTXO.org version 2, kindly point them in this direction. Maybe the visual representation with the addition of the TPS calculator may help them with digesting the reality of Cardano's EUTXO model. Nice work, Peter, a great contribution to the Cardano ecosystem. Now, we've talked about this definitional problem that we have in the crypto space often, with many, at least from the Ethereum world, failing to understand Cardano's model. It would seem this recent update from Peter also struck a chord with Charles, who captioned Peter's tweet writing, "This tweet really strikes at the core of why Cardano is so powerful. It's not TPS with EUTXO, it's transaction per transaction. Our model is the most scalable, safe and parallel computing friendly in the industry, and it's only getting faster. Now with Vasil capabilities fully in play, new dApps and stablecoins imminently being deployed, with massive space saving and fee reductions already taking effect, the naysayers are going to be fast running out of ammunition they can fire at everyone's favourite ghost chain." Next up, and we recently got the Catalyst Fund 9 results. Here IOG released this thread confirming 205 proposals received funding with 10 community challenges selected. In total, 365,000 votes were cast, representing a 53% increase in participation from Fund A, which is great to see. I haven't had a chance to go through all the funded proposals, but when I do, I'll be sure to cover some of the most interesting and impactful ones in up and coming videos. If you want to go check the results for yourself, I've linked this in the description below. But with Turbo still in mind, what I wanted to focus on, however, is a proposal funded that caused a strong reaction from the community, and in my opinion for good reason. I think this is a great example of the current problems in the Catalyst process, highlighting the need for the introduction of the members-based organisation with delegated representatives, and importantly, more technical thought leaders being empowered in the process to assess the viability of proposals that would go a long way in preventing a misallocation of the community's treasury fund and more fairly distribute amongst the proposals submitted. Now, I'm not questioning the legitimacy or motives behind this proposal or the developer responsible for it, but it certainly presents some red flags that the community was quick to pick up on and question. So here's the proposal, Daedalus Turbo, promising a 10x quicker sync. So at first glance, for anyone who uses or has used Daedalus in the past, this sounds like a much needed idea. However, looking a little deeper, there are many problems with what is being proposed here. Firstly, to point out this has already been funded to the amount of $759,000, representing 6% of the total Catalyst budget for this round. And if what many in the community, including Charles and multiple developers, are suggesting, this is a technically infeasible project, yet was still passed by the veteran proposal assessors at the assessment phase. If this is the case, this is definitely a cause for concern. It also strikes me as an extraordinary amount of funding for not a development team, but one individual, and I'm a little surprised this was successful, resulting in some great proposals from well-established development teams not receiving any funding at all. So the proposal itself outlines the following. Daedalus, the decentralized Cardano wallet, is painfully slow, taking a whole day to sync initially and hours to resync when used only occasionally. An unfavorable impression of Cardano for new users, and suggests to solve this through a new download algorithm better utilizing network bandwidth, a quicker algorithm for wallet history reconstruction, temporary sync apps, and an integration into Daedalus and Cardano node. So off the back of this, Charles made a video outlining some of the technical aspects that makes what is being proposed not a solution that would actually solve the sync times of Daedalus, and also highlighted that the current solution in the works that would make Daedalus faster, that we have covered in some detail on this channel, is Mithril, already deep in the development stage. Charles also outlined the security concerns relating to what is being proposed that would actually compromise the network side of the system. So if you want a full breakdown of some of the technical aspects, go check his video linked in the description. Charles did go on to confirm that he would have his team reach out to the developer behind the proposal, and I guess considering it has already been funded, look to work with them in some way to possibly fund the Mithril integration into the existing Daedalus codebase if it's identified that they have the capabilities to carry this out. He also confirmed that he would update the community in an up and coming AMA once they have had the chance to open dialogue with the proposer, so watch this space for more developments here. Ultimately, considering the proposal requested nearly $800,000, along with the fact that the community did highlight a number of concerns before it being funded through social media and specifically Twitter Spaces, further compounded by both Charles and numerous community developers highlighting it not being viable from a technical standpoint after the fact, it really emphasises the need for more technically minded individuals to take responsibility of the Catalyst assessment phase. I think this example highlights the need for a process that ensures greater quality assurance and technical feasibility of proposals before they are funded, especially those that cross a certain monetary threshold. Cardano does indeed have a plan of action for this in terms of the implementation of the members-based organisation. However, governance is probably the most difficult part of the roadmap and is not a here-tomorrow solution. With that said, if any community is able to solve such complex problems, Cardano is certainly capable and equipped to tackle this head-on. As you know, if you've been a regular viewer of this channel, I'm a huge believer in the goal of Catalyst. Whilst it certainly needs refinement, Cardano is in a much stronger position with it than without it. It's going to be interesting to see how this situation progresses, and hopefully, considering the size of the amount funded, some form of positive resolution is found that ensures the amount awarded is put to good use that brings real value to the Cardano ecosystem. We'll be sure to follow up on this as and when developments take place. Now, sticking with Catalyst for just a moment, and quickly, let's check in on two project proposals that we'd covered recently during the Fundline round. First, and it's great news for all Ledger Live users, here they thank the community who voted for the second part of Cardano integration that will see full staking capabilities being made available to users in the very near future. Next, over to ADA Handle. You may remember we covered the sub-handle and personalization proposals they had put forward in Fund 9 in some detail in recent weeks. Here they confirmed both have been funded, representing a great win for the Cardano community. Really looking forward to seeing these big feature updates being introduced in the coming months. Like I said, I'll be diving a little deeper into Catalyst in the coming days and bring you some of the very best proposals that have been funded very soon. Finally today, and we got some pretty big news coming out of Coty regarding the latest surrounding Djed, and it looks like we're very close now to a native stablecoin finally coming to the Cardano ecosystem. So let's dive right in. In this Medium article released yesterday, they outlined some of the technical developments that have been taking place in recent weeks. They've been carrying out extensive script optimizations to increase throughput, which has seen a reduction of more than 60% in fees. They also confirmed to have improved their capabilities to test and deploy new versions. Currently, 80% of the test objectives have been implemented to automatically test the Djed smart contracts and Plutus backend applications, the PAB. This will result in a better and faster deployment and release cycle. The on-chain code has been finalized with reference to audit mediations, and they're now waiting for the final audit report to come through. The off-chain code and specific libraries to synchronize and converse with Cardano Node are currently being updated to properly handle Cardano Node version 1.35.3 on the private testnet environment. Since some changes in the PAB occurred, there's a need to update the proxy and the UI accordingly. After implementing all the updates, a test run will be carried out to ascertain that everything works as expected. Once the test run is completed, it will be deployed to public testnet, meaning users will be able to interact with Djed in this environment for the first time. In the close of the article, Coty confirmed that they're now waiting for the final audit results to see if any critical issues are discovered. If there are no issues off the back of this, then they'll have the green light to go ahead to deploy it on mainnet. So a great update here, and very interesting times ahead. I think the next 3 months hold both huge promise and equally huge surprises for the Cardano ecosystem and its community. Before we close off today, some final thoughts. When ETH maxis love reminding us about the number of dApps in our ecosystem, with the misconception that user adoption is very far away in terms of Cardano, I just smile and think to myself, but do you have a World Mobile intensely pursuing a mission to connect the unconnected, with 2 million users imminently being connected in Zanzibar, automatically making it the largest blockchain-based project globally, with a model ready to be rolled out, copy and pasted in multiple regions thereafter? Or do they have a world-class trading platform in the making like we have in Axo, who are truly innovating with pioneering features, transformative technology, and benefits that are more sophisticated and far outweigh anything seen in all centralized or decentralized finance platforms worldwide? Axo is not competition to just DEXs as we know them in crypto, but is literally going to be competing with centralized heavyweight platforms globally. Anything like this on Ethereum? The answer to both of these questions is simply no. So when I think of turbo mode, these two projects alone carry enough weight, innovation and utility to drive significant user and investor adoption to the Cardano blockchain. Best of all, this is no longer a long-term horizon, but will be taking effect in the very near future. I'm going to be doing a full video covering World Mobile, Axo and a host of other projects explaining why I believe collectively they will form a formidable adoption force. Don't be fooled by the misconception that you need hundreds or thousands of dApps to realize this. What you need is a dozen or so powerhouse projects that can very quickly completely turn the tables and propel the Cardano ecosystem to the very top. When it comes to powerhouse projects, this is something Cardano, its tech and principles have seemed to attract in a very big way, and I personally am going to enjoy every moment of this massive shift in network effect that seems to be inevitable now. So that's it for today's installment of Cardano Insights, as we keep track of all the developments and continue to spread those positive Cardano vibes. If you found value in the content and want to help me beat this YouTube algorithm, then please be sure to comment, share, like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, which will go a long way in pushing the channel out to a much wider audience. I also want to say a big thanks to everyone supporting the channel. You guys keep demonstrating exactly what I love most about the Cardano community. Anyway, we'll be back soon with your daily roundup. Until then, thanks for watching, have a great weekend, and as always, keep it Cardano.